Welcome back to the Casual Critics. My name's Presley, and this is my mom, Becky Baker. And in our podcast, we dive into today's most interesting and current topics in culture, entertainment, sports, politics, life, love, and more, unfiltered and showing how all things are relative literally. Today, we are going to talk about, again, the college campus craziness, because since we talked about it last, it's gotten even more insane. Summer travel plans are for next time, but we're going to talk about the Met Gala and talk shows, Medal of Freedom, and gift giving season, grad season, and that kind of thing. So welcome back, Mom.
Yeah.
Episode 2.
Episode 2. Thanks for tuning in, by the way. This is a new venture for us, obviously, and we're excited to have some fans. And we've had years of people telling us we should collaborate and do a project together.
Yeah.
And then friends have asked us for advice and tips on so many different things over the years and different ages, your friend group, my friend group. So this is just a way to kind of capitalize on that a little bit and get people some information.
Our fans that have been fans for years of us already.
Right,
yeah.
right.
Do we want to start with the Met Gala since
Yeah,
just happened?
Let's do that.
I know I love Met season. I love the Met Gala. It's definitely like one of my friends posted on Instagram was like, Happy Met Day, New York. She lives in New York. And if you like fashion, love the Met Gala.
Well, I think it's also not for those who just love fashion, but those who love art, obviously.
Totally.
Because it's a way for celebrities and tycoons and everybody else who's invited to this posh event to express whatever the theme is in a very creative way.
Yes, it definitely is. It's very uppity, but
I
do like it. I really would love to go.
I was going to say, Presley's one of her dreams, her knock list, is to be invited to the Met Gala.
Yes.
So at some point in your life.
I want to be recognized by Anna Wintour. I really think I need that. But no, the hosts this year were Zendaya, who is my girl crush. I love her. She's so beautiful and such a great actress. Jennifer Lopez,
Okay.
Bad Bunny, and Chris Hemsworth. Those were the 4 hosts. And then the theme was, if you didn't pay attention to it obsessively like I did, was Sleeping Beauties, Reawakening Fashion, and the dress code was Garden of Time.
Yes.
So we saw a lot of florals, which very much reminded me of that quote from Devil Wears Prada where Meryl Streep says, florals for spring, how original.
Yeah.
Because everybody was in florals head to toe, and I didn't think that was the most creative thing. I liked some of them. Like I liked Kelsey Ballerini's kind of see-through pink and orange floral situation.
There were some florals that were by far outstanding compared to some of the others.
And some of them looked so average.
Yes.
And like we were talking about this in the car on the way here. I feel like when you're at the Met Gala, that's where you go all out. You need to look like you're from the Hunger Games near the Capitol.
Definitely, yes.
That's not the time to wear a regular ball gown. You can wear a regular ball gown, especially if you're a celebrity. If you're getting invited to the Met Gala, you can wear a regular gown on any red carpet.
Right.
But I don't know. I guess they don't have all the say because the fashion designers kind of dictate.
I loved even some of them that weren't ultra creative that just looked cool. I thought Matthew McConaughey and his wife looked so cool.
They're both gorgeous.
Cool,
they're both beautiful.
Cool. They're both beautiful. They're both engaging and charismatic. And then I was introduced to this new thing, which is not new, which is what?
Oh, the glam bot.
The glam bot.
Yes.
Which, Presley told me, it's been around forever, but this was the first time I saw it.
It's probably been around I think 3-4 years, probably since right around before COVID or right around COVID.
Yeah.
But the glam bot is on the red carpet, it's the fast moving slow motion camera, which anybody that's on TikTok knows what I'm talking about. But
and you have to do a pose, and it's not that tricky, but a lot of people who don't know how to pose,
there's an art to it,
find it tricky.
And if I ever go to an event where the glam bot would possibly be there, I will have something prepared because a bad glam bot is so bad.
Right.
And that would happen to me, and my friends would make fun of me. So
and they would be
and it would live on forever, like Joey King's bad glam bot. And if you've seen Joey King's glam bot, it's terrible. But I loved Zendaya's grape thing. Remember, she had the grape dress on with the green and the purples. And I thought Chris Hemsworth looked kind of he was just wearing a regular.
No, I know
suit.
he looked very average.
Regular red carpet.
Who had on the sand hourglass?
Oh,
of time?
Okay, that was Tyla, and I think it was Balmain.
It was amazing.
And it was so cool because it was like she had sand dusted on her shoulders and her arms, and
she was holding
an
hourglass bag.
Yeah, and it looked like a sand falling.
It was amazing.
They had to move her around. She's teeny tiny, but they had to move. Her bodyguards were moving her around like a doll.
Oh, see, I don't know if I would do that.
Up the stairs. I don't like being lifted, so I wouldn't do that.
It's not the lifting thing. I just don't like high maintenance. I'm a very low. I think I said that years ago in my family, and they all busted out laughing that I was low maintenance.
Oh my God.
But I guess it's all relative, right?
Right.
No, I don't like the high maintenance, even Halloween costumes or any kind of costumes that you put on or dresses. I don't like anything that's super heavily beaded where you can't move.
Yeah,
or
like
you can't
sequins
dance or yeah. So
they all change anyway. It's not like they're wearing
that's
that
true.
to
That's
the after parties or the dinners because they all go back to their hotels and change. And
do you think I could convince Gene to pick me up and move me around at a party?
I think he would.
I think he would.
I think he would.
I think he'd actually like that.
I don't like being lifted, so I would not like that.
Right.
But the other three I did want to mention. I loved Sydney Sweeney. I thought hers was like the dark short hair and the big blue Miu Miu dress.
Yeah, that was
gorgeous.
Very pretty.
She had all this body glitter on. It looked great. And I thought Ariana Grande did the theme the best, in my opinion. Not on her red carpet walk, but when she was performing.
Yes.
During the dinner, and she looked like a garden nymph.
Like
she looked like a fairy.
Yeah, that was beautiful.
She has the perfect build for a fairy, though.
Of course.
Because she's a little teeny tiny.
Yeah.
But, no, she looked great. Mindy had this big floral thing going on, and so did Dan Levy. He had a great looking floral suit on.
Yeah. So that was
for
cool.
spring.
So sometime soon, hopefully you'll be at that event. We'll see.
I would love to go. Anna Wintour, I'd love to go.
So let's move on to, if we want to do current events, since we're talking current events, things that are just going on right now. Let's talk about, we touched on it last time, the college craziness, because last time it was like very new, and then you would think it would have died down, but instead, over the last 2 weeks, it escalated.
Oh, it's everywhere now.
We had a situation where some individuals took over buildings at Columbia University.
Hamilton Hall. At Columbia?
Yes, and they put the Palestine flag out the window, and they barricaded themselves in the building. And then at some point, NYPD went into the building on this big ramp thing.
This is not a funny topic, but I don't know if you saw the video of the girl that was like in charge of the PhD candidate. So she's like almost done with her PhD, and somebody made a point. They're like, this isn't what's going into college. It's not like she's fresh 18. This is what Columbia is producing, is this type of person.
Right.
But she was saying that they needed humanitarian relief inside the building they took over.
Oh, yes.
From the school.
I did read
And
that.
the school's like, well, the dining hall's open. Just leave the building.
Yeah.
And she was like, well, like, we need humanitarian aid, and like, that's not humanitarian aid in there.
Well, no, but some of the things on the humanitarian list were hilarious,
well,
I thought.
I know.
You know, they needed shields, and they needed pizza, and they absolutely said no bagels in capital letters, which I thought was like, really?
God forbid we have a Jewish piece of bread.
Oh my gosh. It was insane. And they were finally removed, but some of the campuses are still having problems.
Saying no bagels in New York is crazy.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. But I also want to know, like, who's planning these events, because they're definitely well coordinated. And they say that a big percentage of the people are not even, like we mentioned last time, students or faculty.
And if you look at like the people that are participating, even like at USC, I went to USC, so I've been following that pretty closely. It's like the Student Communist Association and the Socialists. So it's like all these groups are joining together for this cause, but it's all the same groups that were joining together for the Black Lives Matter cause,
right,
and that are polluting both of those causes and making it more chaotic.
Correct.
And completely different than I think the original intention was.
Well, and I've also heard that like George Soros is funding some of this.
He's such a nut job.
And I don't understand. I know his son is supposed to be even more radical than he is, but I don't understand the mindset of just chaos and destruction, which is what he thrives on, and anarchy. And I don't get that.
No, I don't understand that at all. And I mean, like I said, I've been paying attention to LA schools. So UCLA.
Yes. Oh my gosh. That was insane.
Oh my God.
There was a riot.
I have a friend that goes to law school there, and I was talking to his roommate in LA, and he was like, oh yeah, like he's studying at the library, and he says it's insane right now. And
yeah.
Like, it's crazy. But there's if I'm on TikTok, so I follow, like, I get a lot of those people that are walking through the encampments that are that are like going, this is insane. And they're telling him, there's this one guy named, I just looked up his name, Milagro Jones, and he's a UCLA student. And for those of you on TikTok, I've seen him. He's a black guy. I think he's got dreadlocks, and he always was in pink shirt. And he's going, I'm a student here. I pay to be here. And they're like, sir, please leave the encampment if you're not here to like help. And he's like, no, I'm going to the library.
Yeah, I got
kind of
stuff
thing.
to do.
Yeah, and they're like, well, we don't feel safe with you filming in here. And he goes, I'm a student, and this is free speech. I can film whatever the hell I want. And they're going, somebody's filming. Put your masks up. Put your masks up. And he goes, yeah, that's a cause that you want to be associated with, people that have to cover their face.
Gosh.
He was just chewing them up.
Good for him.
It was hilarious.
Well, even Saturday Night Live just featured that this past weekend. Where Keenan, who makes me laugh no matter what he says.
Keenan breathes and I laugh.
Yeah. So he was in the skit, and he was a parent of a Colombian student, and
not a Colombian
parent, but
a Columbia parent
of a Columbia student, and it was just a hilarious skit. So if you haven't seen that, please look it up online because it is funny. Because he's like, no, not my kid. My kid's gonna be in the study hall studying and not out protesting.
Yeah, studying for this expensive ass school I pay for.
Yeah,
thank you.
Yeah, so it is definitely worth seeing. But yeah, it was crazy this last week, and what I liked was certain campuses, certain states. God bless Texas.
Yeah,
and God bless Ron DeSantis in Florida because he seems to always know what to do. But they were like, no, they're shutting this shit down in their states. They're like, no, you're not doing this we're sending in the National Guard or whatever.
And I'm not a fan of everything Greg Abbott and Ron DeSantis do, but that was so smart because it's not, it goes past free speech when you're violating laws and you're violating campus rules and
private
property. And I get it more at the public schools. It's harder, like UCLA versus USC.
Right.
But it's a private school. You're trespassing. They want you off. You don't leave. You're trespassing.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Well, and then
you're spray painting the buildings. That's vandalism. That's a crime.
Exactly.
That's past free speech.
But I think part of the problem was when the Black Lives Matter protests and all that came about, and then it progressed to other people tearing down statues and defacing property, and there weren't any consequences.
No.
So because there weren't any consequences, people think, well, I guess it's okay, and they go ahead and do it, and it's infuriating.
Looting Neiman Marcus, looting the Santa Monica Promenade.
Spray painting, you know, George Washington's statue on George Washington University campus, and
that was this time.
That's just that's this time.
Yeah.
So what I'm saying is like, I think people think that it's okay because of what happened previously and there's no consequences. But what I love about DeSantis, and I know you don't like love everything he does, I pretty much do. So
I don't think I'm not a fan of how much emphasis they put on the abortion thing. I think that's one, I don't agree with it, but two, I think it's bad political move.
No, I agree with that. I think that's probably the one area where I think it shouldn't have been so hardcore.
I don't understand why that's the hill that Republicans die on. I'm Republican.
No, I get it.
I don't think that's the hill that people should be dying on.
But
personally.
I look at stuff that he's done, like the squatter issue, which is a national problem. It is. And these people, like even some illegal immigrants were on social media posting videos about how to be a squatter and get a home in one of these states in America and take it over, and the owner has nothing to do with it. They can't defend it. They can't kick you out. They have to go through a huge process to get you removed.
The whole concept of the squatting thing doesn't make sense to me.
No, it doesn't.
It's stealing.
It totally is. And I don't understand why law enforcement can't get involved. So what Ron DeSantis has done in Florida, which I think is amazing, they passed a law that goes into effect July 1st.
Okay.
Where law enforcement can be involved.
Good.
And can remove these people. And if your name isn't on the lease or you've never rented the property or have any ownership in the property, you can be removed. And I think that's the way it should be in every state.
It should. That just makes sense.
Yeah.
That's just common sense. I don't understand.
Can you imagine going on vacation for 3 weeks and coming back and somebody's taken over your house, which has happened to people, and they've actually had...
That'd be the wrong house if they tried our house. That'd be the wrong house.
You know it. And despite, no matter what the law is, they're getting
Becky go to jail.
I'll go to jail before I let somebody take my house, for sure.
Yeah,
for
no,
sure.
that was no crazy.
Yeah.
But the UNC frat, do we want to talk about that for a second?
Yeah.
I mean, at GW too, I mean, I saw officers taking down the Palestinian flag, putting it back up the American flag, and at City College in New York, and same thing.
But the best was at UNC.
Oh my God.
I thought by far.
Well, also, like, people were like making saying that they were saying terrible things and things like that, and I saw some videos of it, but they were just saying normal frat guy things. Because there's one video of a guy going, they're all defending the flag. I'm sure you've all seen it. And there's this girl yelling at him, and she's a heavier set girl, and they're going, "Oh, lose weight, lose weight." And I'm like, "Oh my God, that's exactly what you would expect a frat guy to say, though."
Right.
To somebody that's screaming in his face.
Yes.
But somebody put together a GoFundMe and for them to throw them a rager, and it's Pi Cap. That's the fraternity that was
and
mainly there.
They've been on several shows.
Oh,
already.
I'm sure. You were like, "Do you think we can get one of them on this podcast?" You go, "No, they're on CNN. Like they're on Fox.
They're on Fox News.
Yeah, they're on Fox." But
the whole thing was like some of the protesters, the pro-Palestinian protesters, took down the American flag
at UNC.
And they put up the flag of Palestine. So the fraternity said, "Oh no, not on our campus," and they took down the flag and put the U.S. flag back up. And then defended it from them doing it again. Stood there and chanted USA, USA. And I'm like, go.
Yeah,
this
Pi Cap.
Yeah, Pi Cap. This is awesome.
No, that was great. And they raised $515,000 to throw these kids a party, which I think is hilarious.
Yes.
They're funded forever.
Yes. Well, they're actually, what I've heard.
Are they going to donate?
They're going to donate.
That's good.
The majority of it to a charitable cause, which is the right thing to do. They'll probably
keep $10,000 and throw a blowout.
Oh yeah, I even say 20.
20?
20 grand, throw a hell of a party.
Oh my God.
Yeah. So that was really cool.
What do we want to go to next? We want to talk about Drew Barrymore.
Yeah. So since we're talking about just things that shock you sometimes.
What I will say, if you've ever seen Drew Barrymore interview anyone, I'm going to get up for a second and do it, because she is always like right here with people, like talking and chatting. Yes. And I'm like, that's just her thing.
Yes.
And she's very like lovey-dovey.
But I know, I can't stand it.
You don't like Drew Barrymore, though. I don't have a problem with Drew Barrymore.
I have never been a Drew Barrymore fan again, and I'll tell you why. Because I don't like whiners. And I think that she whines, and she's like,
she has a lot of more feelings than I do.
Oh my gosh, she's way too wishy-washy for me too. And I don't think she's smart, and that's just me. I don't think she's smart. I see her interview people, and you can tell by the questions and stuff that she answers.
I think she's probably a very nice person.
She's probably very sweet.
She's probably a very sweet person. That's how she comes across to me.
Yeah.
And a lot of people love Drew Barrymore, but her interviewing Kamala Harris was so gosh. I love Twitter. I'm a big Twitter user, and everybody on Twitter, Democrat or Republican, was going, "Okay, that was cringy as hell."
Well, for one thing, they're trying to remake Kamala Harris into this person into a likable person, which she's polled as not likable at all. And she from the get-go, when she was in the presidential race as a candidate, she was like the least favorite out of.
She didn't win because her likability was so low. For the percentage on the polls, I don't have the number. But.
So don't you find that funny that the president of the presidential candidate at the time, Joe Biden, would choose a candidate for vice president that was so disliked?
Well, I think that she was chosen for a lot of her demographic, which I think is the wrong reason to pick somebody.
But there were other women.
That's what I was about to say.
That.
I'm like, even
brilliant women.
Even Stacey Abrams, I think is way more likable than Kamala Harris, and I don't agree with almost any of her politics.
Yeah,
but I'm like, I think that would have been a better choice than Kamala. Yeah. Kamala can't even put a sentence together.
No,
she's like on medication or something.
In her laugh and in the way that when she presents something, it's like word salad. She revisits the same thing over and over and over again, and it's just like you go, wait.
Remember that video of her singing "The Wheels on the Bus"?
Oh no.
And then she laughs like a supervillain after.
And she's like, "Oh, doesn't everybody love a yellow school bus?" Ha ha ha. And I'm like, "Oh my gosh, poor thing."
Crazy.
But the Drew Barrymore.
We need a monologue.
The Drew Barrymore interview, where she's sitting so close, like you said, so tight.
She does that,
and then she says, we need a
mamala.
A mamala. We need a mamala.
The country needs a mamala.
The country needs a mamala. And I'm like, oh my, no, we don't. We need somebody to put back law and order and fix the economy and fix the border from people pouring in. And all of these areas, I just heard today that Chicago alone has spent $1 billion on immigration services for these illegal immigrants that are in Chicago. And people of Chicago are getting pissed because they're taking away money from the budget for normal services for their community and their neighborhoods, and they're putting it towards immigration. And I just don't agree with that.
You know how people say, like, when you don't have a uterus, you shouldn't have an opinion? Yeah. You don't have a border. I don't think you should weigh in on the border crisis.
Well, and to me,
Texas so feels it because we have people pouring into our state. California doesn't have the same politics, but they're a border state and they have a lot of the same problems.
Arizona experiencing.
Yeah.
Well, my philosophy, I guess, about that is it's kind of like if you're a family and you can't take care of your own kids, why are you foster caring or adopting other kids? If you can't take care of your own first. And that's my thing is like our country needs to take care of our veterans. We need to take care of our homeless situation, our suicide rate, the fentanyl pouring in, all of this stuff, human trafficking, whatever it is.
All the
take care of all of our stuff first. If we have enough left over, we'll take care of other people too. But you got to take care of us first.
Well, and there's a difference between like you said, overextending yourself and strategically placing money outside of the country to maintain American interest.
True.
And I think that's right now we're like you said, doing the opposite. We're overextending ourselves. And we're inviting too many people over.
Oh my gosh, we're giving money to everybody and anybody, and that's how it was previously too. Not with the Trump administration.
No, Obama did that.
The Obama administration did that. And I still remember a helicopter full of cash, pallets of cash being dropped off to
the Middle East.
To the Middle East, and I'm like, what are we doing here? And that stuff just drives me crazy.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I think that there's some parts about Trump's like philosophy that I think is too American for. I agree. America only. Yeah. Yes, but I don't agree.
See, I believe in the America first. But I understand also you have to be strategic.
You do, and that's where like the differences I think on the Ukraine thing fall with Republicans is because there's like the Reagan idea where we have to maintain peace through strength.
But I think also what people don't understand about the Ukraine situation, I don't agree with pouring money in there constantly. I don't agree with that.
No.
These trillions of dollars, whatever that's going there. But what they don't seem to get, and what they're not advertising or broadcasting as politicians, is that Ukraine is supposed to be like the breadbasket of the world.
Yeah.
And that there are minerals and resources there that aren't available anywhere else, aren't produced anywhere else in the world. And if Russia gets a hold of that gives them a whole different
I have this
economy. And
I have this theory that the first candidate, Joe Biden or Trump, to say that putting money into Ukraine is America first is going to be the one to win, because they're going to win that section of Republicans that wanted Nikki Haley, that wanted somebody more moderate, that care about that topic most. Mm-hmm. And that's a big portion of Republicans, especially like in DC, like political elite Republicans. And I'm like, what Trump should say is that defending Ukraine through munitions automates our munition process, speeds it up, so that when we need munitions, we already have the lines working.
I love that.
Well, right. And when we need military weapons and power, we already are producing those to send to Ukraine, but if we need them, we're going to keep them.
Right.
And I'm like, and the last time we gave any country to a dictator was Poland with Hitler. Mm-hmm. So I don't think we should let him take it.
No.
But, and like you said, the food, the breadbasket of Europe, like that's important.
The resources that they have.
Yeah. So I don't know. I think that the first candidate that puts it like that says that they don't have to be mutually exclusive, is going to win.
Well, I think that one of the problems with not only that situation, but with the Israeli situation with the Palestine, face-off and war that's going on over there, is that we don't have a leader right now that that says something strongly one way or the other. It's almost like
he's being too neutral.
He wants it all. He wants both sides. He wants to appease the far left.
Yep.
And he wants to appease some of his
the
regular
moderates and political
voters.
elites.
Yeah. And I just don't know, he says something about, we need to support Israel and our allies, but then he's caught on a hot mic saying he's going to have a come to Jesus moment with Netanyahu.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, everybody knows where he stands.
I know. And I don't think that he's a strong leader in terms of foreign policy.
I don't think he's a strong leader in anything.
I know. I would agree. But a lot of people argue that people across in other
maybe
countries,
healthcare.
A lot of people, infrastructure, I would say. He got the infrastructure bill done, and I think that that's what he's going to tote forever. Mm-hmm. But foreign policy and defense, people say that, people in other countries so respect Joe Biden. I'm like, no, they don't. No, they don't.
No.
But should we move on to graduation season, or should we talk about Medal of Freedom winners real quick?
Well, let's just real quick touch on Medal of Freedom winners, because there again, it's political.
Yeah.
We're talking Joe Biden's administration and some of the people who were awarded these medals just 2 days ago,
something like
3 days ago, something like that. Nancy Pelosi, John Kerry, Al Gore. And to me, there again, there's so many other people that could have been chosen, even if you wanted to take the Democrat side, the left side, and find people. But it's almost like the administration's patting themselves on the back. And I don't like that.
I saw that there was like a couple scientists thrown in there, and like some athletes, Katie Ledecky, who I think is probably a good choice.
Yeah.
And
that's a good
Jim
choice.
Thorpe, who I actually had to learn about a lot when I took a athletes in film class and watched a movie on him. First Native American, I think, recipient. Mm-hmm. And he's passed away, and he's posthumous. And I thought that was a good one because he's played a lot of professional sports and opened a lot of doors in that area. Okay. Same with Kayla Ledecky. I think she's a great Olympian and great American athlete. But Al Gore, like you said, I wouldn't have minded if they used the description that he was a climate change champion. Yeah.
Good. Yeah.
And instead it was more like he bravely stepped away from the 2000 presidential election and allowed peace to maintain and
maintain democracy,
maintain a peaceful transition of power.
Yeah. Okay, so
to George Bush.
So they give it to him for that, and they let's say, and Hillary Clinton obviously lost the 2000 election. No. 2016 election.
Al Gore lost the 2000.
Yeah. So I was thinking back on that too.
Yeah.
So the 2016 election she loses, and she continues to talk about it this day. So she gives talks, she gets paid a boatload of money to go speak, and she goes around the country and in universities or whatever, and she's teaching at Columbia, right?
I believe at Columbia,
yeah. They hired her, which I get, because being former
Secretary of State. She's qualified.
And former First Lady, I get that.
I've always said she's qualified, even though I don't like her.
Definitely. But the fact that she still bitches about losing the election and saying that it was wrong and saying that it was rigged, and then they all turn around and complain about Trump saying he lost the election in 2000.
No one running for president likes to lose, because they all have egos that are too big for their own good.
Well, that's why they're running for office.
That's why they think they can run the free world. Yeah,
exactly. So I'm just saying, there's obviously
some hypocrisy there.
Yeah, some hypocrisy there. And then let's move on to something lighter, because I know nobody wants to just hear about politics all the time. We have other things going on in our lives. So it's graduation season, and it's gift giving season, because Mother's Day is right around the corner. My birthday is right around the corner.
It is.
It's on Mother's Day this year.
It's on Mother's Day this year, and my mom's birthday being on Mother's Day is forever, I think, the most stressful thing that's ever happened to Jane. It's my dad.
It doesn't happen every year,
No, but it's always the same weekend, and he has to coordinate 2 presents, and that's a lot for her. She's hard to buy. She is hard to buy for, because she doesn't deny herself things. So when she really wants something, she just buys it.
I get it.
And then so you have to think of something that she hasn't thought of that she wants yet, that she'll like. It's complicated.
Well, and he did buy me this last year.
Yeah.
And this is I'm a coffee mug fanatic. I love my coffee. So this mug says, "I'd rather be someone's shot of tequila than somebody's cup of tea." And
and she's not everybody's cup of tea.
No, and that statement right there shows that my husband knows me really well.
Yes, he does.
So I love this coffee mug. I drink out of it often. I'll bring one next time that I love as well, something a little different. But this was a gift. So I love my coffee mug. And we've got other things like, do you want to talk about Mother's Day since we're talking about Sunday first, and then we'll go into graduation gifts?
Sure. What are we doing for your birthday, Mom?
We're going to a screening of Fast Times at Ridgemont High, which was out when I was in high school, a senior, I think, in high school. And then what's his name? Judd Reinhold?
Something like that.
Whatever. Brad from Fast Times at Ridgemont.
Oh, Brad's going to be there?
Brad is going to be speaking.
No way. Yes. Brad's the best character in that movie.
I love Brad. I even have which is so funny, I have like a action figure of Brad that my husband gave me one year. So he does pretty good. No, he does. Think about it.
He does, but he's very stressed every time he goes to buy you something.
But I love getting a gift. I love giving gifts more than getting gifts, and that's just me.
Yeah, I do too.
So Mother's Day is coming up on Sunday, and I know a lot of people get stressed about what to get Mom, as she was just saying, but I think moms are pretty easy to please for the most part. So this is something that I picked up at Williams-Sonoma, and it's just that I love Mom, I heart Mom coffee mug, and then it has some little lemon thins in there, which my mom loves lemon.
Williams-Sonoma is a very
Williams-Sonoma, and it came wrapped
to get presents.
So you can stop by there, and if it's not wrapped, you can ask them to wrap it, and they'll wrap it for free. You can get her a candle, which is always a good gift if she loves candles. But don't get it just because it's easy, because if they don't like candles, like my mom doesn't care at all about candles. So I don't get my mom a candle because I'm like, she'll hate it. She wouldn't appreciate it.
No.
And
she won't light it.
And she would think that it was just like a unthoughtful gift. So you want to get something that resonates with your mom.
If I can't think of things to buy her, usually I buy something that I like myself.
That's good.
And I like using, and so that's why I buy it, because I'm like, that's an easy way to be like, I love it, so you'll love it. And
guys don't just go get flowers, because
if you get flowers, don't get cheap flowers.
Yeah, if you're gonna get flowers, like get her some really pretty
carnations.
Hydrangeas with roses would be nice.
Women never want carnations.
No, carnations are bad. Daisies are bad. Those are both bad flowers.
Neon colored daisies, don't get those.
Don't get those.
The amount of men I've steered away from buying those when like my male friends, when they're going to get like their girlfriend's flowers, or they're going to get like their prom date back in high school, and they're like, what about these? I'm like, those are $4.99 for a reason. We're not getting those.
Put those down.
Put those down.
Put those down.
Yeah.
So, I mean, guys, you can go into really a lot of different places if you want to go, like Bath and Body Works.
Yes.
Is what I was thinking. And everything in there smells great. So you could go into there, or the Body Shop.
Body Shop's good.
Or Origins, which those are all in the malls. And if you I know how guys shop. There's a reason why men like department stores, because the men's department is in a certain position where they can come in, usually.
It's always by the door.
Right off the street, right off the parking garage or whatever. And they walk right in, they get what they want, what they need, what they came for, and then they leave. They bolt. So
they don't browse.
They don't browse. They don't plan this big shopping thing. They're last minute shoppers a lot of times. So go into like an Origins, which is a small store, or a Body Shop, or
hell, you walk into Sephora and tell one of the workers in Sephora that you were buying presents for your mom. You have no idea what to buy her.
And they'll set you up.
Take care of you.
They'll set you up.
Yeah.
But some of those shops are a little, I think, a little stressful for men to go into.
Yeah.
Whereas I think some of the smaller ones where you just are scent oriented, you can just go in there and get something.
Yeah, it smells good.
Smells good, and put it in a pretty bag, and you're set. These are also kind of cool. These are reading glasses, and they're like a cool designed reading glass, not the normal cheapy, ugly ones. And I don't know how much they were, but they weren't very expensive. They're probably like, I don't know, $20.
Yeah. Something
like that, $25 maybe. And you can get these at a lot of the grocery stores. You can get them at a card shop or Barnes & Noble or wherever. But this was at Market Street. And they're just like a step up from a normal reading glass. So, So you can just buy some fun things for mom, or you could buy a T-shirt. You can go even to a diner. Like there's a mother-daughter's diner. There's a couple different locations around the Dallas area. And they have these great sayings on the back of their shirts, like "Mama knows best."
Yeah.
I'm mom's
cute stuff.
I'm mama's favorite, which I love. So anyway,
we have some grad gifts here too, because we like to say that we're very good gift givers, and I think that's been proven.
Well, and somebody asked me one time, not that long ago, they said, how do you do that? How do you buy the best gifts for people? You always seem to buy the most thoughtful gifts. And Presley and I talked about it too, and it's because we pay attention, if that makes sense. So we pay attention. We notice things. We notice what somebody orders, what dessert they like, what colors they wear.
Right.
How many kids they have, if they have kids. And
their favorite team, something like that.
Yeah, their favorite team.
It's not that hard. You just have to put a little bit of effort in.
Yeah.
And it's not, and we were talking about this too, it's not about money.
No.
It's not about how much money you spend. If you can give something thoughtful that doesn't cost a lot.
Absolutely. Well, look at even the reading glasses. You know, I mean, and even this thing from Williams-Sonoma was not super expensive, and you know.
Well, and you have some grad gifts here because it's grad season too.
Yeah, and there again, just put a little bit of thought into it. So the easy thing would be to stick a check or a $100 bill into a graduation card for someone. So the amount, a lot of people text me and call me and ask me how much money they should give for certain things. And this happens periodically.
I like that they think like you just know that.
I know.
These
I know.
things.
People just think I know things, which is funny.
They do that to me
too. So really, I think the appropriate amount to give would be for high school graduation, like $50 all the way up to $200, depending on how well you know the kid or your relationship to the graduate.
Yeah.
If it's a niece or nephew, if it's your daughter's best friend, something like that. If it's just your child is going to their friend's graduation, $50 is totally fine. Yeah. Now, if you don't want to just do money, which I don't like to give money, so I usually try to give a gift that's a little more thoughtful. But if I were to give a gift card, I would buy something like, let's say a girl's going to Baylor University. I would probably buy something like this and put the gift card in it.
Yeah.
And with some pretty like grass or something. And then I'd like maybe tie that
also
to it with a bow.
An Uber or a DoorDash gift card
absolutely
is like the best thing you can give a college kid, I think.
Definitely. And I've given Uber gift cards a couple of times.
Oh yeah.
But my favorite gift to give, especially to a guy, is one of these great sweatshirt blankets. And you have to buy the right one because there are
cheapy ones are bad.
The cheapy ones are bad. You have to buy the more expensive ones, the ones that are really thick, like a real sweatshirt. And so I've given these to boys and girls.
Yeah.
But everybody I've given it to over the years has kept it. Am I right?
Oh yeah. We did that I had a lot of guy friends coming out of high school, and we did that for all of them. And most if not all of them still have it. I know my friend Jake had it on his bed all during college, and Colin kept his forever. And they love them.
A lot of them. In my niece, even last year, who was going to Texas State.
Yeah, I
found one for her. Now the big university ones are at some of the places like Rally House, where you can pick them up there. And this one's OSU, but they have, Texas A&M, UT, Baylor.
A lot of them are gray. They're not all like aggressive.
Yes,
colored.
they're not all bright like this.
No.
But what was that? I can't remember the university that our neighbor's son went to in Pennsylvania. Was it
Lehigh?
Lehigh. And so when I went to buy one for him, and he loved it, by the way, I found it online. And so they had two different ones. They had a cheaper version one and a more expensive version one. I ordered the better one. I put some cellophane around it and attach a little gift card to it. Or if you just want to do the blanket, that's totally fine, whatever your budget is.
Yeah. Okay, do we want to wrap it up with best gift you've ever given and best gift you've ever received?
Sure.
We're talking about gifts.
Why don't you go first?
Well, I like to think I've given a lot of great gifts, but one that I think was probably one of the best gifts was a graduation gift, and it was when I was graduating high school, and I gave my boyfriend at the time cornhole that had his college logo on it, and he said they used it. I'm still friends with him, but he said that they used it like all 4 years in their fraternity. And loved
Very cool.
It. And then best gift I've ever gotten. Well, one of them is this ring. I love this ring. Mm-hmm. I got that for I think my 19th birthday from my parents, and it's just so comfy, and I wear it. I wear it every day. And then another one is my dog, Fig, that I got for graduation from my grandparents.
And that was your
master's graduation. Yeah.
So they spent a little bit more than normal.
She's a French bulldog. She's crazy. I love her so much.
Yeah, very cute.
All right, Becky, finish us off.
Yeah, best gift that I received, grass. I know that sounds weird, but my grass. One year my husband said, "What do you want for your birthday?" And I said, "I know, I want grass."
This is why I say that she's so difficult, because Jean's like, grass? You want grass?
And our grass in our front yard was just not good anymore. And I was like, I want grass. I want like green, dark green, thick grass. So he had all these pallets of grass, of sod brought in, and he said,
we have the best grass in the whole neighborhood.
We do. Everybody loves our grass.
It grows like hair. It's crazy.
It does. And he fought all kinds of things to keep that grass nice
for like a year,
thriving for a year.
Grubs. it had spiders first that were like,
yeah,
giant spiders.
They were from wherever he got the grass from. It had spiders that came with the grass.
Horrifying.
So we got rid of the spiders.
And then there was the grubs. And then we had a mole problem.
Yeah, moles.
And then it had a brown patch. Jean would say he's going to fight the brown patch.
Yep. But all in all, my grass is my favorite overall. And then probably one of the best gifts I ever gave was one of my cousins was getting married, and they were remodeling an older home that was their first home. And she registered for all these odd things like at Home Depot. And I bought her kitchen sink and wheeled it in with a dolly to her reception.
Great. Yeah. That's a great gift. All right, Mom. Close us out.
Okay.
That's all we got.
Yes, thank you so much for joining us today. And it was a lot of fun. And look for our Casual Critics podcast on Apple and Spotify and YouTube. And
you can follow us on Instagram now. We'll have the handle up on the screen.
It'll be up soon, right?
Yeah. Thanks for listening.
All right. Thank you for listening. This has been the Baker Take.